With the newly announced LAN Championship Showdown on the horizon, and more LANs popping up all around the world, there seems to be one major trend for Splatoon in 2026. To ditch the internet, terrible netcode, and constant communication errors by playing together in the same room. This week saw this trend in full force, with an old fan favorite LAN making its reappearance and a brand new one making waves in an entirely new part of the US. Howdy, I'm Droid, and let's break it all down in the Weekly Ink. Starting with our weeklies, Paddling Pool 353 saw the usual lot of prolific top-level EU talent attempting to take home the throne, with this week going to Blah Blah Blah, a pickup of Ant, Hanad, Kiki, Argo, and Silver. The team played 3 extremely close sets against Seed 2, H, losing 3-1 against them in the winners finals before returning the favor with a 3-1 of their own in grand finals, and just barely squeezing out a 3-2 in the bracket reset to take it all. Congrats on the well-earned win, and we'll see you next week. In contrast to Paddling Pool, Swimmer Sync 214 did not see tight sets, but rather complete and utter domination by the event's first seed, Healbook. Made up of strong top-level players such as Adapt, Jovan, Prosper, Len, and Grapey, the team swept through SOS with ease, dropping just one game in pools before going undefeated in the event's Great White Bracket to secure their well-earned win, and their first of 2 big wins of this week. Don't worry, we'll talk about the other in just a minute. Anyways, moving on from our weeklies, this weekend saw our first edition of Low Ink for the new year, and a crazy stacked one at that. The event saw an insane 94 teams make their shot at the elusive ban, with loads of fan favorites making it further than anyone thought they would. The winner of Alpha Bracket ended up being seed number 14, MAD, made of KM, MASH, Abir Nova, Agent 8, Talent, and Dice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Seed 14 managed to win? Isn't that an insane upset? You'd be right, that is an insane upset, but the entire tournament was insane upsets. The 4th and 5th seeds tied at 8th place. Seed 17, Broccoli on Pizza, managed to secure 4th for an SPR of +5. 2nd place went to fan favorite in seed number 12, the Coalition, and that's not to mention the 5th place team, Squidbusters, who were seeded 53rd and managed to secure a +22 SPR. Literally the highest upset our writer Jardonian has ever seen. Just about the only team who actually placed near their seed was the 3rd place team, No Creeth, No Bow, who were originally seeded 2nd, a very normal placement proportional to their seed. All of this to say, congratulations to MAD for traversing the chaos to get their well-earned ban, and congrats to every team who managed to get a crazy run nobody saw coming, and congrats to Popgun for getting the easiest content for an episode of the podcast of all time. Taking a break from online events, this weekend saw 2 massive East Coast LANs for the Splatoon scene, with the first being the 5th edition of New Inkland. After being rescheduled from October 2025, the event finally got to run, pulling in 8 total teams to take their shot at the crown. Unfortunately, due to Splatoon 22 not being in an affiliated channel, the VOD is lost to time, so please enjoy this CS Surf gameplay while we create a dramatic reenactment of exactly what happened during every step of the tournament. Z-tier players mogged everybody. Thank you for coming to our dramatic reenactment of the new Inkland 5. But seriously, it's no surprise that Z-tier players, made of 49er, Neptune, Ren, and Storm, swept the competition. As last year's LCS qualifier from the event, they were primed to take it all. The team swept through pools undefeated, then proceeded to only drop 1 game against Pigeons of Paradise in semifinals before sweeping Smartfellas in grands to get their well-earned win. Thank you so much to the staff for another amazing LAN, and we're so glad to have you back. Jumping back into our final online events of the week, Triton Cup 130 was more or less exactly what you'd expect from a Triton Cup. 22 teams, lots of top EU talent, the works. The event was taken by Salty Springs, a team with many of the same players who won this week's edition of Paddling Pool. In addition to the players, the bracket run was nearly identical to how Paddling Pool played out as well, with the Springs losing 1-3 against Eldia in winners finals before getting a 3-0 in grand finals and just barely squeezing out a 3-2 in the bracket reset to get their win. Literally a 1-game difference from the weekly. Either way, well done to them on their win, and thanks to Dapple for another great week of events. For our last online event of the week, From the Incup saw a bit of a smaller event for the 95th edition, bringing in 31 teams. The event was won pretty cleanly by the Canadian team Tidal Waves, getting a clean 3-1 in semifinals before 3-1ing Chud Force in grands to secure their win. Not much else to say about this one, but shoutouts to Under Pressure for another great event, and we can't wait to see what you've been cooking for FTIU 100. Now, for the one you've all been waiting for, the newest LAN to hit the Splatoon scene, and the first LAN I've ever been to. don't flounder at the function. DFF is North Carolina's brand new Splatoon LAN, and the event came out swinging since the state happens to be home to many of the best production and commentary staff in the West, including Dark, Jokura, Samapuris, Jovan, and more. The inaugural event brought in a total of 12 teams, with the winners being none other than Heelbook. Just like Swimmer's Sync, the team was dominant, sweeping through pools completely undefeated before moving on to the bracket. There, they swept their way to finals, where they would face the team name of all time, SpongeBob Big Guy Pants OK. And yes, Jovan had to say it. The SquarePants put up quite the fight, even managing to take a game off of them, but in the end, it just wasn't enough, and the first function ended up going to Heelbook. Congrats on the win, and massive shoutouts to all the TOs in production for putting this event together. We can't wait to see what the event holds in the future. On that note, that just about wraps up our week. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you want to help support our work, consider becoming a channel member. You get lots of cool perks like suggesting events to be featured in the weekly ink, getting your name on screen like these lovely people, and a ton more. So check it out if you can. That's all folks, so we'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks for watching.